Hi, my name is Heidi Russo and I am starting this series called My Adoption Journey, A Beautiful Mess. This is the first video that I'm going to be putting up on YouTube. It's going to be a series of several different videos talking about adoption. And I'm going to start with my journey through adoption, a lifelong journey, and I continue to go through the journey, work my way through the journey of adoption. And then hopefully I'd like to progress to talking with friends that I have, people that I know who have also gone through the adoption process, either as a birth mom, as an adoptive mom, or as an adoptee. So still working out the logistics of that, but we're starting here. So who am I and why am I talking about this? Well, I placed my son for adoption when I was 19. It just so happens he is Colin Kaepernick, who went on to play football in the NFL for the San Francisco 49ers, and then took a knee for social injustices against people of color, and now is an activist doing his own thing, if you will. So just talking about my journey leading up to that point in my life, and working my way through that process, and how I came to that decision, and how things looked after that for me as a birth mom. And that's all I can speak to, is my journey through that. So that's a little bit who I am. And I also happen to be an adoptive mom. So who knew all of these forces would come together and I would be talking about this. But here I am. My husband has been trying to get me to do something like this for 8 years or so, maybe longer. And I just, and in writing a book too, he wanted me to do something, just talk about it. He said, people are interested, people want to know. And I'm like, no, they don't. But maybe you do. And going through all this, I'm also hoping to help young women who maybe find themselves in the same situation, not sure what to do, not sure what choice to make. Maybe this will help them make a decision one way or another. And also maybe to help educate people on adoption. And I know there's been a lot of negative publicity out there about adoption, a lot of negative stereotypes about birth mothers, or first mothers, or whatever. I prefer birth mom. I don't know why. Maybe that's what I was introduced to first, but I don't like the first mom, because then I guess that would make, Colin's mom a second mom, but I don't think that's right, because she's not really a second mom. She's the only mom he's known. So I prefer birth mom. That's what I'm going to stick with. So if I'm offending anybody, I'm sorry. It's just what I'm choosing. So hopefully I'm not. But I won't want to be called second mom to my adoptive children. I'm their mom. So, and my situation is very different than my situation. Being an adoptive mom situation is very different than being a birth mom and placing Colin. Two very different scenarios, but all inclusive in adoption, right? So just talking through all those things. Why the name? Well, it's my adoption journey, so that's, I think, a little bit self-explanatory. But a beautiful mess. Why that? Because it is. It is a beautiful thing. It is a blessing to so many, to the adoptive parents, to the children, depending on the situation they're in. And I think it's also a mess. What do I mean by that? Well, I think it's a mess for the birth mom, post-placement. A mess. I think trying to navigate through all of the feelings and grieving and heartache and the unknown that goes along with being a birth mom, and even an adoptive mom. It's a mess. And then if you're fortunate enough to have a relationship with your biological child that you've placed, what does that look like? And how do you navigate that? I am not in reunion with Colin. And so how has that impacted me? And the situations that happened along the way, my thoughts on them, and sometimes my incorrect thoughts, and sometimes my correct thoughts. So all of that. So that's where I came up with a beautiful mess, because it is beautiful. It is a blessing. It is all of the wonderful things that adoption can be. And it's messy too. And that's all okay. I think everybody's journey is different. I think everybody's situation and how they, for lack of a better word, negotiate, or what that looks like with the family they're placing their child with through adoption, like what terms they've agreed upon. It's uncomfortable, it's awkward, and it's messy. It is. So we're going to talk about all of it, and it's going to be difficult. I think it's going to be good in some parts. I think it's going to be funny, because I think I'm kind of funny. But I think all of that to say, hopefully, can shed some light on my journey. No reporters, no journalists, nobody switching my words up, twisting the story, none of that, just me. And sometimes I say things that later I think, I probably shouldn't have said that. Or maybe I should have said that differently. Or maybe that came across the wrong way. And I do that. And I'm human. And that's okay. So hopefully, if you all watch, you don't crucify me. And I'm happy to answer questions along the way if you have them, if I can. There are still some things I think about this process that I would keep private for Colin's sake. But I think most of it is my journey, and I have that journey, and I can speak to that journey. And that is my journey. I'm trying to say this the right way. And that is my journey I don't want to say alone, but it's my own journey that is separate from Colin's journey or the Kaepernick's journey. It's mine. And I can talk about that, and I can speak to it. And not everybody has to agree with it, and that's okay, because it's mine. So anyhow, that's what this is all going to be about. So I hope you will stay tuned for the next video, which gets into, I'm going to start young, like reflecting back on my life and my family life and all of that. How did I get to that point in my life? And it'll all make sense when I get there. But each video or each series is going to it's going to segment. So I'm going to start with my younger childhood and things that I think led up to how I got to that point. And then from that point moving forward, different segments of that process. Telling my parents, trying to figure out what to do, how I came to the decision. Then what happened after that? What happened with Colin's biological father, who I will not name. Don't ask, because it's not going to happen. And that's just something I'm going to keep private because it hasn't been brought out. So, but anyhow, moving through all of that, that's what this series is going to encompass. And then the whole adoption process. And then moving forward after placement and how I got to where I am now. It's been a long journey. But we're going to talk about all of it. So I think there's going to be some struggles getting through it. I think there's going to be some laughter because I think I'm kind of funny. I think I'm a funny person. But also I would also like to incorporate, I'm not sure if I said this earlier, other adoptive moms and adoptees and other birth moms that I know, and their journey is all different. And so there's always similarities, but there's always nuances to each journey. So stay tuned. I hope you'll join me. We'll do different scenarios, walk around my house. I live in beautiful Colorado. We'll go outside. We'll do some fireside talks. And hopefully you'll have some questions that I can answer. And I'd be happy to answer whatever I can within my experience and knowledge base of what I have around this. So I hope you'll join me. Stay tuned for more videos to come. All right. Bye-bye.